Let's take a look at supply chain in the global economy. An important characteristic of today's world economy is the increase in regional economic integration. The globalized economy, the establishment of the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, or GATT, and its 1995 successor, the World Trade Organization, or WTO, have together led to multilateral trade promotion and lowered barriers to international business transactions. And actually, this is an especially important time for the WTO in that they recently ratified the TFA. And I'm going to put a link into the TFA and with the hope that we can have some good discussion on that in the forum because it's a very, very important development. Okay, so let's take a look at supply chain and the global economy, as I said. A growing number of countries have grouped together to form regional trade agreements. The biggest and best known example of a regional trade agreement is the EU, or European Union. The number of membership has grown from 6 members in the 1950s to 28 members. Although, as no doubt you've seen if you're keeping up with the news, that is changing with the advent of Brexit. So operating globally has become easier to accomplish for even individuals and small companies because of the advances in information and communications technology, as we discussed, and the continuing improvement of specialists such as UPS, FedEx, DHL, etc., which can provide global supply chain services at a very reasonable cost. A growing number of specialists and continuing improvements in information technology and communication are contributing to the flattening of the world. Obviously, large global companies are also contributing to this phenomenon. Let's talk about NAFTA. The North American Free Trade Agreement was signed by the leaders of Canada, the United States, and Mexico in 1993 and was ratified by Congress in early 1994. NAFTA establishes free trade between these 3 countries and provides the way the agreement is to be interpreted. NAFTA states that the objectives of these 3 countries are based on the principles of an unimpeded flow of goods, most favored nation or MFN status, which is now referred to as normalized trade relations, and a commitment to enhance the cross-border movement of goods and services. MFN status, also referred to as normalized trade relations, provides the lowest duties or custom fees, if any, and simplifies the paperwork required to move goods between the partner countries. In the long run, the goal of NAFTA is to create a better trading environment. NAFTA's goals involve making structural changes to operate a borderless logistics network in North America. Information systems, procedures, language, labels, and documentation are being redesigned to expedite the border crossings and the flow of commerce. There are continuing challenges to achieving the established goals among all 3 countries. Migration from Mexico into the U.S. continues to be a political hot button, now more than ever. And this is another area where I think it would be fruitful to have a discussion on what may happen with NAFTA in light of political challenges. Okay, moving on. Let's take a look at a micro perspective of global supply chains. The global business environment has changed significantly, and companies are not just importing and exporting products, but are also locating plants and other facilities in other parts of the world. Honda and Toyota used to produce cars in Japan and ship them to the US. Now their cars are also produced in the United States for sale in North America. Tariffs and other trade barriers have been significantly reduced among many countries, allowing a much more competitive global economy. Many Fortune 500 companies experience 50% or more of their sales in global markets. Small and medium-sized companies have also been able to be players in global markets, with the opportunity to source and sell on a global basis by developing appropriate relationships. Success in the global marketplace requires development of a cohesive set of strategies, including product development, technology, marketing, manufacturing, and supply chains. Global companies tend to be more successful when their strategies help them to simultaneously achieve their business objectives at their various global locations. From a supply chain perspective, this means strategically sourcing materials and components worldwide, selecting global locations for key supply depots and distribution centers, evaluating transportation alternatives and channel intermediaries, providing customer service, understanding governmental influences on supply chain flows, examining opportunities for collaboration with third or fourth party logistics companies, and other supply chain issues. From a customer service perspective, global markets and strategy have 4 important characteristics. And I'll let you read those off of the slides. First, companies attempt to standardize to reduce complexity, but they have to recognize that global markets need some customization. Second, global competition often reduces the product life cycle. Technology companies are faced with this phenomenon even in the US market, but globally other products are faced with similar experiences. Technology companies counteract with continual upgrades and new products. Third, traditional organizational structures and related business models frequently change since companies get more involved in outsourced manufacturing and some logistical activities such as transportation, warehousing, and order fulfillment. All of this impacts the supply chain and its related customer service activities. Fourth, globalization introduces more volatility and complexity. The need for flexibility and responsiveness is a requisite for customer service throughout the supply chain. The expanded networks cover long distances and many are complex. Trade policy, regulations, tariff, and currency exchange rates exacerbate the level of complexity for global supply chains. Furthermore, the number of intermediaries that can be involved adds another additional layer of complexity.